Welcome to the shop, a moto podcast with your host, Jake Lowry and Grayson Crumb.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the shop, moto podcast. Your host over here, Grayson Crumb, and I'm just a dude here.
No.
Yeah, I'm just a guy here.
You're tech man.
I'm not a very good tech man, dude.
You suck.
Honestly, if we could make money at this and hire somebody, that'd be great to be a tech man. Have a little marks over there in the corner, kind of.
Who knows what they're doing?
Exactly. It's not like me just fumbling around, trying to hopefully figure out how any of this stuff works.
Y'all should have seen him trying to work a computer. It's like imagine your grandma.
Hold on, time out. I just got a Mac, and it's completely different.
It's still
than a regular computer.
No, it's a computer. A computer's a computer.
No, not. I mean,
kind of. Yeah, really.
It's got all these little shortcut things that you have to figure out and learn.
Yeah. Well,
it's just set up a lot different.
They have school. I didn't know this, but you go to an Apple place, dealership, whatever they call it.
A dealership? Apple store. It's like it's a car.
Apple dealership. They have free schools where you learn how to use your device. When my phone broke, I went in, and there's a group of some old people.
Can we tell people about that? Your phone broke. You spent days not having a phone. You took a whole day, half a day off work to go up there, and you get up there and dude just resets it.
No, I didn't.
Oh, no, you.
I was at your house.
You were at my house. You left. Yeah, dude just resets it.
Yeah.
Had to drive an hour. Hour there, hour back.
Took 15 seconds. And he's like, hey, there's free schools. I'm like, don't tell me that, dude. I get it. I know how to work a phone.
That's funny. Well, it's been a hot minute since we've had a podcast.
A lot. People thought we quit.
And I'm blaming you.
I thought we quit too.
I didn't want to quit or nothing. I mean, it's just,
life.
We get busy. Hey, we did have one episode.
Yeah.
And it got lost.
Of course. We have more lost episodes than we have normal episodes. That was the one with Spencer. Good episode.
Yeah, it was a good episode. Lost.
Good episode.
And then it just kind of,
Because that was right.
The drive gets lost, and then it's just,
Was that right before or after Anaheim?
It was right after, because you had doing on your trip. We talked about the Anaheim trip. Talked about Anaheim 1.
No, it was before, because we were talking about how Spencer was going to have to, bail me and Papa
maybe.
out of jail.
Yeah, it was before. And then we're going to do one after, and then it's just... we're busy.
Papa's listening to this, and he wants to have we got to get him on. He wants to have a whole episode about that trip. It's a good trip.
Yeah.
It was months ago.
Good.
It feels like it was
I gotta hit up Papa about being a sponsor for the series.
It was it felt like 2 years ago, but it was 3 months ago. Pretty cool though.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump in. We need to
diving right in.
So, for everyone that's listening, the area qualifier at Wildwood was this past weekend.
Yes.
A lot of people there a lot of people that really race in our area were there too. It wasn't just
yeah.
So we should have had a 5 or 10 listeners maybe.
Probably there.
There's a few stickers.
Yeah, I saw
we possibly gave them out.
One dude talked to me in staging.
Oh yeah.
For Eli's race.
Cool.
He's like, hey, did you you're Grayson, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I know you. You look familiar from the podcast. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. And I was like, dude, that's sick. He's like, you're a tough dude. I'm like, how? He's like, dude, I watched you die yesterday. And I was like, he's like, dude, I wouldn't have gotten up. And I was like, I didn't want to get up. And I was like, I knew I had to. And he's like, dude, that's pretty awesome of you. And then, so one unknown dude. I didn't get his name.
You didn't get his name.
I did not. I'm bad with it. I was very tired. It was 5 o'clock on Sunday. I didn't have all the energy I got right now. It's a long weekend.
Sorry, I'm texting the track owner.
Always on your phone.
I mean, I'm trying to business over here.
No, turn it off.
So you want to let's call up our guest.
Oh, the voice.
I'll introduce him first. Yeah, the voice of Wildwood. He got that nickname all weekend.
Yeah, the voice of Wildwood.
His wife was even going with the nickname.
Is he like Weech now? Like he's gonna be announcing SECA races.
He's the voice. Hold on. He's the voice of our intro.
Yes.
The voice of the Shop Moto Pod intro. Yeah. He's the voice of Wildwood. Like, we're trying to sneak our way into podcast Moto glory.
Soon
he's trying to sneak his way. Maybe we can hire Shaw as our tech man.
Dude, he'll be announcing like LACC races.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be doing that. I don't know that they even have an announcer.
Well, they will at some point.
They will.
You gotta make your way up, slow and steady.
So yeah, Jeremy Shaw coming on. We're about to call him up. He watched more motos than anyone.
Yeah, geez.
He watched every moto.
Golly. Dude,
Did he miss a moto?
Yes, his kid's moto when he had to be on the gate.
Well, no, he watched because his kid was in it.
Yeah, but he
didn't announce that
one. Yeah, he was. I gotta learn how he does names. He had to say some names. I'm like, dude, that's pretty fucking sick.
You think he got?
Hello.
Whoa.
Oh, Jeremy Shaw coming in hot.
Hold on now.
What's up, boys?
How we doing?
We good. What are y'all doing?
Man, we're just trying to explain to everybody the 4-month break we took. It's kind of hard.
It wasn't 4. It was like 2.
No.
It was like 2.
No, it had to be closer to 4.
No, I'm about to pull this up because y'all are both out to lunch.
No.
Hey.
We're just being realistic, Jake.
If you would pay our salary, then we could, do it a lot more.
But don't turn to me for that.
Wrong. We could turn to the wrong guy.
Unless we start making money with a podcast, that we're gonna be at our daily jobs, fellas.
Yeah. December 12th was the last one.
3 months.
No.
Over 3 months.
No. 2 months.
2.5.
2.5. You're at a half is 3 days. It's like
It could be
10 days. Stupid.
It's 2 months and a week.
You're so dumb. Oh God! How do people?
2 1/4.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. We'll settle on that.
3/8. 2 3/8.
Oh,
what's happening around the shop?
not much.
Working on my stuff.
No, you were
I was about to say
he was putting a bunch of aftermarket stuff on a new bike. The guy's getting a new bike, and he went with there's a bunch of cool stuff right now, like promotion wise with KTM Group. So you can either get 1.99% financing for 60 months, and you get to like defer the first 6 months or something like that, or you can pick $1,500 worth of parts, gear, and accessories, and now that amounts on a big bike. It's like a smaller amount for 85 and a smaller amount for a little bike. I'd have to look it up, but or you can just, this is kind of under the table. It's not really like advertised out there. Or we can just take some of the money right off the price of the bike. So like if you want to take the money off a big bike, it's $1,100. So you can just say, hey,
that's sweet.
Yeah, you can be like, hey, I'm gonna pay cash, and I don't care about the parts and accessories, and I can knock $1,100 off. Yep, our buddy Brandon Shaw from Arkansas took advantage of that and got a gas 350 a couple weeks ago.
Well, if you're gonna pay us in cash first, then we'll knock the $1,100 off.
Yeah.
And so we get the cash for they pay full pop.
Oh, and then
Grayson's got this figured out.
Yeah, but
hey,
I mean,
hit me up later, okay,
that guy might not be coming back if you.
Shoot, I got $1,100.
Yeah, Grayson, did you just buy your RV spot for springeting like I just did, and you're trying to recoup some of the damages?
God,
or what?
I just saw your wife put something on that.
So you bought just a dry camping spot, or you bought a
hookup.
Full hookup?
Okay, so get this, $200 to dry camp, right?
Yep.
Or I could spend $350 and have power and water all week.
How many days is that?
Oh yeah.
We're gonna get there on Monday. I think we're leaving on Saturday.
Damn.
So 6 days.
6 days. I'm like, $150 for 6 days.
$58. $58 a day that way. And
that's pretty nice.
So
if I got to pay $200 to dry camp, I'll spend
at
least half of that in gas for a generator.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know?
Yeah, my generator would use about $15 in gas a day. Well, for every 12 hours, so $30 a day. So if
Yeah.
you do it that way, it's 58 a day. I mean, yeah, and then you're getting water and all.
Right.
It's really
Yeah, I
not.
have water
That's
to-
really not. That's really not out to lunch
yeah.
too much. I like to look at it though as like if you go stay at a campground, it's normally about
Yeah.
$30 to $50 for a hookup.
Yeah, but
Well, what got me was the $200 dry camp.
Yeah.
Because I don't mind dry camping. I got a generator, and I got a drum. I usually bring with and fill it with water. I'm like, if I got to spend $200 to park in a field with no amenities, I'll pay $350 to
Yeah, for sure.
have power and water.
Yeah,
$200
yeah.
to park in a
I'm not on board with any charge to dry camp
Yeah.
at all. I think that's absolutely insane. So
Not when it's $75 a person to get through the gate.
yeah, well, I talked to 2 track owners today. One I did not talk about anything like that to, but the other one I did. He's like, "Man, what do you think about this idea, that idea?" And I told him straight up. I said, "Dude, moto's moneying people out. If you want more people to come to your race, I wouldn't go for some idea of like, hey, I'm going to go with this other track and we're going to come up with this weird race idea. Like, I just don't feel like people care about that. But if you say, hey, I'm not charging camping, I'm not dry camping, or I'm giving, I think the dry camping thing's not, like, everywhere's not doing that. So let's not use that as an example. But, like, hey, I'm going to give all the racers a free gate fee. I think that's going to attract more people to you than some off-the-wall, like, different kind of race. Because I don't...
Oh, no doubt.
I don't think some different kind of race brings people into your race. I think, like, your track and then your fees. Like, that's really what people are looking at. And, I feel like a lot of people local that weren't trying Loretta's weren't at Wildwood because it's pretty expensive, Whether all that's on Wildwood or not, because it's area and there's a lot of added expenses, it's because of MX Sports. But I feel like that you lose a lot of local guys because they're like, oh, I'm not going to Loretta's anyway, and I'm not going to spend an extra $200 or $300 to go to that one race. Like, we'll just go another time.
Yeah,
and
may have been.
Yep, but
it was still a great turnout.
Oh yeah, they had a really good turnout, and David was happy. So David's one of the track owners I talked to this morning. So he surprisingly called me. So
really,
yep. He knew that I was kind of upset about the flagger issue deal, and
right.
So he called just to apologize about them letting a practice go, and Bladen was still out there on the track, and nobody had any idea. He was supposed to have a guy in that spot, watching that section, and the guy had left to go help with getting the ambulance that got stuck or something, and he left to go help get it out. And nobody filled in, and David was like, man, that should have never happened. Should have never been, like, there shouldn't have been, where somebody just leaves their post and nobody's to cover, and
yeah.
So he just called to apologize for that, and he was telling me that, there was a couple things that, needed to be worked on that he's kind of acknowledging and wanting to fix, and, he knows it wasn't perfect, but they tried, and to me...
I mean, in his position, that's all you can do, man. Learn from what you could do better and do it better. I mean, that's respectable all day long.
Yeah, so, like, to me, like, that's really big on him to... and I don't think I'm the only person he was reaching out to. I'm sure he was, anybody he knew that had any kind of problem, he's trying to reach out to. And, like, to me, that shows, like, he cares to, like, make things better and help a little bit.
Yeah.
And, he told me, he gets a lot of flack with the track being rough and rutted and, just some of the stuff they're trying to do there. Some of the local guys don't really care for it. Some of the vet guys whine and stuff. And he's like, I'm kind of to the point where I'm doing this for the guys in our area that want this and need it to be better, like to grow the area with better riders. So he's like, I'm kind of like, I don't really care anymore if some of the guys complain that, it's too rough or this or that. So, and which I told him I agree with, I'm kind of, we have to, the guys that kind of have been there and done it and know kind of have to, use our platform to, hey guys, this is how it's got to be. If we want to, if we want more than one Easton Graves out there in the 65 class, it's up to our community to do it. The kid's unreal, man.
Dude.
The kid's unreal.
Me, Eli, Corey were sitting there before.
He was faster than you.
Yeah, I would honestly look at lap times. I would put a lot of money that he was faster than me. And we're sitting there watching him. It was before one race, and he just does the 3 in the middle, into the corner.
Yeah.
And me and Corey and Eli,
on a 65.
On a 65, me, Corey, and Eli look at each other and we're like, "What the hell just happened?" And I'm like, and we're like amazed. And we're like, is he gonna do it the next lap? So we watch him, comes on the next like puts a little style on it, and I'm like, dude, there's no way. I'm like, that kid is hauling.
You don't even want to know, I don't think.
Oh, I'm sure
he ran a 2:04.1. I can't look up all the lap times on the.
Yeah, you can. Hold on, I'll show you. Oh man.
Yeah, you can. You can go to laps on.
I did, but it only showed 1 on my phone.
Hey,
I did it on the computer and it did it fine.
Turn your phone sideways.
Yeah.
Turn it sideways.
I know. Oh, you stupid. God, I'm gonna beat him sometime, Shaw. If you just saw what he did to me, I got it. You old bat. Talk to Shaw.
So anyway, Shaw, like me and David had a good conversation this morning. I think he just wanted to, he wanted to apologize, but I think he too wanted to pick my brain on what I thought and all, I think David does respect, where I've been in the sport and things like that. And, he's, I even asked him about the race ready thing, and, he didn't 100% blame it all on them, but I mean, I asked him because I wanted to know because, some of the tracks up this way that have had some problems with it, and it's normally their Wi-Fi and things like that. And he said that wasn't the issue. They had an update, and they updated the system on Friday, and on Saturday it went haywire. And so they were having to go back, and every class that was messed up on Race Ready, they were having to go back to the hand scoring and compare, and that just takes time, going back to hand, So they got everything straight and everybody happy, but it just took a little bit, and I think people were like just, super impatient by, and Civi was probably super overloaded. And Sunday went smooth, though.
She was.
Yeah. Sunday went smooth. I don't think they had any problems scoring-wise on Sunday that I know of. And
no, nothing that I could tell from my point of view from the weekend. I know it was just a couple. I think Spencer was one of them that his transponder wasn't picking up, and it turned out it was his helmet.
Yeah, it was his old. If you have multiple transponders, and you have some of them in under different accounts, like some people made new accounts because they didn't have so they didn't remember that they had an account or whatever, and so that kind of like confuses the system, and then there was people not knowing how to put their transponder on, so. It's kind of pretty cut and dry. It tells you exactly what to do on the transponder, but
which direction to put it.
Yeah, well, people were putting it on like with the arrow facing towards the helmet, not to the front. People were putting it on like the actual helmet, not on the visor.
Right.
And just like it won't pick up, so then it totally screws it up. But Youngin came in clutch with a very observant, perfect idea. So when you in the woods, they've been using these kind of transponders for several years.
This is where the idea came from, was the woods.
Yeah, from the woods.
Local woods racing, GNCC, all use this exact same technology, but it's kind of easier because
you have to stop.
You have to come down super slow into the tent where they have it, and you're already pretty close, and so it picks it up easier. But that's just, the whole premise came from woods.
Yeah, so anyway, Grayson's deal was he's like, man, when you sign up in the woods, you have to take your helmet to sign up. And when they make sure that your transponder's on correct, and then they make sure that it's actually working.
Yeah.
So when
there was one race that I went to that actually did that, and I want to say it's at Swan whenever they started Race Ready, because we had already had a transponder from some other race that we went to, but we already had them. But I had to physically bring the helmet up there, and they scanned it or whatever they did. Yeah. But I remember having to go back to, I guess it was a little bit of hassle on my part having to go back to the camper. But yet, it eliminated I'm not getting scored this moto, or it said I didn't start, or whatever the case may be. And all that was done on the front end.
Yeah, and I think maybe if the word could get out, I mean, Race Ready should kind of maybe get the word out, but if one of our local guys, hear this or people hear this to tell them, like, we should maybe start doing that on the local side of, like, let's just make sure, and it'll help, like, some of the confusion later on and,
Right.
Just to make sure. I didn't have any problems with any of our scoring or anything, but we already had transponders, and I've only ever had one Race Ready one for my kids and stuff. So
let me get a piece.
Yeah.
You need a piece of paper, Grayson? Grayson needs a piece of paper.
So before I talk all this shit on other people, okay, I'm going to. Easton Graves whooped my ass. Okay, I'm going to put it out there right now, so I'm allowed to talk shit on who he beat too. Okay.
He was faster than a lot of
people.
A lot of people.
Hold on. Dude, I told you, like, Schoolboy 2, like the first 4 kids in Schoolboy 2 could have been top 5 in pro sport.
Yes. So Easton would have gotten 6th in 125C.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Put the kid on a 65 and 125C.
Yes.
There we go.
So he ran 203.6, 203.7, 204.1. I ran let's see, Moto 2. I'm only going off Moto 2s. I ran a 206.4, 206.1, 201.5. So he would have beat me by 2 laps. He was 3 seconds a lap faster than me. 1 lap, I was 3 seconds a lap faster than him. So he still would have beat me that moto overall then. Let's see what he would get.
Well, yeah, because he gets a start in sprints, and you turtle your way through the first lap, and then you decide to start getting the ball rolling.
I do lollygag.
Jeremy Shaw, that is Youngin's. That's his problem.
He's got the Cooper Webb approach.
No, like, I looked at his lap times, and he'll have better lap times than guys 3 or 4 places in front of him at the end of the race, and, like, even on the second, third laps and stuff. And I'm like, dude, you consistently run a better lap time, but you're 10 seconds down on the first lap. Like, you have no shot now. I'm like, we've got to work on, like, being more aggressive through the first turn and on the first lap, and just, like, not being scared to be up in there. And it's a lot easier when you get out front, trust me.
He would have gotten 7th in Super Mini 1.
7th in Super Mini 1 on a 65.
Yes.
Hey, Grayson, compare his 85 lap times, because he rode, I think he just rode the stock class on his 85.
Is he 10 to 12?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. God,
that would have been on Saturday.
Yeah, he didn't ride it on Sunday.
Yeah. Bad first lap. 2:15. Then he went 2:06.2, then 2:03.2.
So he's faster on his 65.
Yeah.
And,
overall.
But he got beat by Bowser, Jackson McCarty, and Wyatt Duff. Wyatt Duff, look at Wyatt Duff. 157. 157 on an 85. Dude,
he was moving.
Yes. There were some hitters.
Yes.
There was talent in every class there.
100%.
It was very top heavy. But man, there was several kids in almost every class that were, I mean, you're going to see a lot of these kids you're going to see at Loretta's. Like, it's that was a stacked area qualifier.
Bowser ran 158, 157 in the second moto, 10 to 12. Easton did a 206, a 2-minute even, and then a 159 on the 85.
Oh, wow.
Moto.
Got under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And Bowser this weekend, too. I talked to Brad, and he said they've been battling some sickness for like almost 2 weeks.
Really? Yeah.
So they just they went somewhere. I can't remember. Said where they went, but said I think it was one of the Winter Series races, and said Elliott woke up kind of just sick and wasn't feeling real well. He raced anyway, and then Brad said he started feeling sick, and said they've just been battling for a little while now.
Yeah,
but still rode well.
Very well.
Yeah, I talked to Brad yesterday. I talked to him today too, but just about bike stuff. But they're having a little bit of bike issues and stuff. But they're a good family. I like them. Brad's always been very respectful, and he's very appreciative of the little bit of help like that we give him through the shop, which blows my mind.
They're good people.
Blows my mind that Elliot won Loretta's and he doesn't really get a whole lot of help, you know. But I told Brad, I was like, you know, it's so much of who you know and meeting people, and you know. And he said he's kind of finding that out. Anyway, let's. I think Grayson had some questions, and then we'll kind of go through different classes.
I just wanted to know, you watched every moto. Who was your, like, surprise? That, like, not that they showed up, but, like, they were like, okay, like, I haven't seen this dude since Loretta's last year, qualifiers last year. Now that I've seen him at the first qualifier this year, it's like, wow, he is immensely better. Who's one of those each day?
I guess I'm gonna have to. So I got a. Who impressed me the most, and who was maybe lacking a little bit, so I thought would be better. Who impressed me the most, I think, was. I mean, there's several guys that I knew rode well. Like, you know, when I saw Ryder McNabb's name, I'm like, dude ought to be good.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's very impressive. Now Hamden Hudson, I didn't know much about him. I'd heard the name, but when I saw him entering in there, I figured he'd be good. I figured he would give Kimball, you know, a run for his money. I knew Kimball would be good there. I mean, Kimball's been riding Wildwood since he was a kid, so I knew Kimball would be good. But probably somebody that I guess I will say surprised me the most would probably be Cash Landry. Cash, I think, finished second to Landon Gibson, and I'm wanting to say one of the mini senior two, I believe. Cash rode really well, and as far as I know, Cash hasn't been riding a ton here lately. I know he got one of his bikes stolen not too long ago. And they did get it back this past weekend while we were at Wildwood.
Yeah, Ricky told me about it.
Yeah, they got it back, but Cash rode solid, man, and Cash. I don't know if y'all know Cash as well as I do, but Cash has been plagued with bad luck for probably the last 3 or 4 years. But I thought Cash rode really, really well, especially the competition there, like we just talked about, that almost every class had you know, national talent in it. So I thought Cash rode really well. And so on the flip side of that, somebody that I thought would have ridden a little bit better was Avery Long.
Yeah. Well, he was good on Saturday.
Yeah.
He was.
Sunday
he had a
was
big
not
get.
that good.
He had a big get off on Saturday. So what they were calling the elevator jump coming out of the sand in the back.
Yeah, I saw that.
It looked like he jumped a little bit far to the inside. I just caught it out of the glimpse of my eye from sitting in the tower. And I guess that probably played a factor because he was down for a little while. I don't remember what moto that was in. I don't know if it was College Boy or what it was in, but he was.
It was Pro Sport. It was the second moto of Pro Sport.
Yeah.
Because he fell.
No, that was the first moto.
Was it the first moto?
Of 450 Pro Sport.
Yeah, on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Sunday because he fell over in the corner and was just in the back of the pack.
Yeah.
And he was like behind Spencer.
Yeah.
And then he yard sailed over the elevator.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I was watching it, but
nonetheless, I thought that Avery would have been a little bit more dominant. I mean, coming off of last year with everything that he did and what little bit I've seen him ride early this year or late last year, I guess you could say now, I just thought Avery would have been a little bit more dominant. I thought he would have pressured Kimball a little bit more than what he did. But I mean, it was heavy hitters there. I mean, you know, it's not like it was just a local race to where it was Kimball and Avery out there by themselves. It was, I just thought he would have done a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, Cash, he really surprised me. He really rode well, and I mean, you got to give it up to the 231 as well. I mean, he went 1-1-1-1. So.
Grayson's over here.
He comes off the couch. He goes out there. And wins every moto.
That's
so,
what
you got to give it up.
That's what pisses me off more than anything. Every day, every time I see him ride, I'm like, dude hadn't ridden in 2 months, and goes out there, and I'm like, this is so much crap. Like, imagine. I wish I could just had enough talent to piss it away. You know. That's just what it is.
I'll accept that.
He's just pissed all of his talent away. And you know, I put him in the same category as Josh Hill and Jason Lawrence and Hanny. Just have like so much talent and come off the couch and just fast, but they just have no drive. I think that's what it really is.
I have drive now, but back in the day, maybe I didn't have it enough.
You had enough
I'm not
sex
sure.
drive back in the day, I'm sure.
Well,
Dude, and your classes were stacked, Jake. I mean, they were not easy classes.
yeah, there was several dudes that are like Loretta's regulars and stuff. So, like, honestly, when I looked at who was coming, at the pre-entry, and then for Moto 1 and stuff, I was kind of nervous, and I didn't know really what to expect. So I was just like, I'm gonna try and get the whole shot, get out front, and then just see what I can do. And I didn't get the whole shot, but I was second. And then by the elevator, the guy in front didn't jump it. I jumped over him. And then, by the end of the second lap, I had a few seconds on second. And I'm like, well, I think I can just run this pace, and I've got this. And I did that. And then 30, I was like, well, there's two guys in 30 that weren't in 25 that are fast guys. Jeremy Cook, who I battled top 10s with at Loretta's, and Caleb Bertrand. So I'm like, man, 30 is going to be harder than 25. And sure enough, it's like this the same thing every moto. Like, I get out front early and just, put my laps in, and my laps were, a little bit better than everybody else. And
it almost seemed like 30 was tougher than 25. I mean, and I'm looking at it from you behind you, like some of the guys, it was just good racing from first to probably 12th.
Yeah.
I mean, it just looked like it was a lot more stacked, as you go back into the racing. It was really good racing, and I just thought it looked faster. I didn't compare lap times or anything like that, but it looked faster that whole race than 25 did. It's kind of surprised me.
Yeah, it was. There was definitely more guys in it, and but I definitely didn't expect that. But I think a lot of things helped. I don't know how much I want to give the 350 credit, but I do think the 350 helps me when it's rough and rutted and stuff, and being able to last more than one lap. So I think that helped a tiny bit. But also the track being pretty gnarly, I feel like my experience just with, that kind of condition, I feel like that helped a decent amount, because I could, I kind of understand how to pick lines and how to ride that, and, be smooth and smart. And David said he even watched. He was like, man, he told me, he's like, you were pretty good. He's like, I watched just how you were riding the rough stuff, and he's like, how to ride the rough stuff, and he's like, I think that makes a big, it gives people an advantage when the track's rough and you're a guy that knows how to ride the rough stuff. You know what to do to conserve a little bit of energy, what kind of lines to take. Yeah, you might not be taking the fastest line in one section, but it's setting you up for another section, and so I feel like that helped a lot on the whole day.
Not only that, it was allowing you to keep the pace for as long as you needed to. Yeah.
And the last moto, the very last moto of mine, Mason Eck was close. He closed a lot on me on the third lap, and I was like, when I got the white flag, I was like, all right, I'm gonna put the hammer down and try and pull away, and then I didn't have to do it for very long, and he fell in 3 corners later. So
yeah, he did.
I kind of got lucky on that one, but
that was him. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I think I texted you this yesterday or the day before yesterday. Whenever y'all came over the first tabletop, right out of the first turn, it almost looked like one of you, and I couldn't tell which one because it was happening so fast. I was just sitting there watching to kind of see who was in the lead. But it looked like one of you cross-jumped just a little bit. And, dude, whenever your back tire was coming down and his front tire was coming down, I bet I couldn't have put my hand in between both of them. It scared me. Yeah,
he kind of came right a little bit. I don't think he really meant to. I think he was coming out of the corner and he's on the gas, and I think it was pulling a little bit. And I don't know that maybe he quite expected me to just I came out of the corner and I kind of saw opening, and I just, I was wide open because I'm like, all right, I'm going right here, and I'm not letting off, and trying to launch this as far as I can to pass you right here, and that's what I did. But I don't know that maybe he was expecting that, and then I think he was kind of coming. It wasn't intentional, he was already kind of pulling to the right a little bit, and I kind of just squeaked through, and I think that's a little bit where I'm still, I would say a little youthful when I ride, and a little, maybe a little aggressive sometimes. But I kind of feel like that gives me an advantage in the vet class because a lot of guys don't really.
Well, it shook him up a little bit because I think he actually lost. I think he actually lost the position.
Yeah,
and then I think he gained it back in the next corner, that left-hander after that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it scared me, and I think it shook him just a second because whoever was further on the inside, I think got him. And then, but he had to set up for the inside of the next corner, and he just made that pass there.
Yeah.
But it was pretty wicked looking for just a second.
Yeah, but look, my dad, so y'all talking about like the off the couch deal, and I have ridden. Friday would have made my 4th time to ride since the first of the year. So it's not like I completely have not ridden any. But I mean, I haven't ridden. I had like 3.5 hours on my bike when the weekend started. So it's not like I put a ton of time in the last month and a half riding. So,
sure.
My dad knows how little I get to ride and stuff. And he told my mom, he's like, after one of my motos, and this was later in the day, I don't know if it's after I won 2 or 3 or whatnot, but he's like, I just don't, he's like, that's really not supposed to go that way. He's just like, I think he's kind of was maybe, shocked maybe a little bit, just maybe not shocked that I ride like that, but maybe shocked that, the other guys that it happened, or that and like, dude, I thought like Bertrand would be up there. I thought I just which he told me he hasn't been riding either. He didn't even ride practice that morning. Like, he just shows up for the moto. And,
I didn't even know Caleb was there until the gate dropped.
Yeah, I didn't either, and I saw him in between motos, and he had gear on, and I was like, dude, what are you, like, you didn't ride 25? He's like, no, man, he's like, I'm going to another area, and just, like, hadn't been riding, so, and, so, I mean, there's probably several of us out there that, have some talent. We just, don't get to take it as serious, and I wish I could take it as serious as I want to, and, ride 2 or 3 days a week, race every weekend, really work out and train, and, because, man, I really feel like that, if I got my lap time down just a small amount, I mean, I'd probably be in pro sport, not just in 25 and 30, but I wouldn't try pro sport. I would just focus on those, but I mean, I feel like I could be a player in 30 at Loretta's if I can really get in shape and stuff, so... We'll see. We'll see what, I got to make a little bit more effort away from work, the little bit of time I have. And, my kids are really wanting to ride a lot. So if I can, really talk the wife into, hey, like, they want to ride as much as I do. Like, at least if we can just go to the local track, every Saturday and Sunday, that's something that's getting, some riding in, whether it's racing all the time or not. And, make a little bit of a run for it, and,
Well, you got a little while before Freestone.
Yeah, I'm not really that worried about the regional, and that's one thing, too, like giving credit to different things. I said the bike, I said, just the rough track, my eating habits, my diet. I'm going to be like a on the Alden program.
Oh, my God.
Shaw, my wife, is, like, big time into this organic thing right now.
Yeah.
So, like, dude, we're, like, full on, like, dude, like, healthy eating. And, honestly, the last month, man, like, my stomach has been way better. Haven't been, like, getting upset stomachs or anything. Like, I don't know if, like, energy-wise it's helping or anything like that. But maybe it helped this weekend on the bike. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, I can't. I'm not going to discredit it. I don't know. But, what? You're looking at me like I'm retarded.
Piss me off.
Like, I had chicken stir fry for lunch that I brought from home, and it wasn't with rice; it's with cauliflower.
Okay, that does look good.
It was good. It really was actually good. Bunch of vegetables and stuff, and drinking water all the time.
It hadn't helped that much because he still cries every day at work. So it's not he's not fixed.
Yeah, it may just be the hostile work.
Yeah. That's not the only thing though. The other thing, and I really need to preach this to kids not the beginner kids that I work with, but more like Jeremy, if I work with drifting any, or if I work like when I work with Eli, Van Oliver, any of these kids at K Pedigo, like these kids know how to ride. I've seen these kids ride. I've worked with them. Like they're advanced. They're not, they're not just your regular weekend warrior beginner kids. These kids are advanced. You see them ride on a regular practice weekend or at a class. You see them race a local race, and they're kind of a different kid than they are when they come to these, like an area qualifier or a regional, some of these bigger races. And that's a mental deal.
100%.
And, they've got to, they just got to have somebody to talk to them to get them through kind of mental blocks that they're going through, and these little mental things of worrying about who's on the gate. Man, even at Spencer's level, Patrick told me Spencer was like, talking about certain dudes that were there and all, and I'm like, come on, like we got to be past that. Like, it doesn't matter. Like I get, Avery's here, and Ryder McNabb's here, whatever, but like take that as a challenge. Like, I'm glad that dude's here. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna show him. And like I think a kid like Easton Graves, I would think that he has that mentality of like, I don't care who's on the gate. I hope the fastest kid in the country's here because I'm gonna show him how to ride. And I feel like I go to the gate a lot of times with like, I don't care who's there. Like I go like, I'm going to get the whole shot. I'm going to get out front and I'm going to ride my race. And, I'm going to try to do the best I can to win. And I don't put a lot of emphasis on like, I'm worried about, so-and-so's here. Like, like if
you
Mike,
were just talking about how before the race you were saying how Caleb and
well, I knew those guys are fast.
Jeremy Cook.
I knew they were fast, but I wasn't worried about, I wasn't saying they were going to beat me. I just know they're fast. So I'm anticipating that they could be somewhere around me, or they could be in front of me. I could get beat by them. I'm not saying that I look, because a lot of guys see those guys and they automatically tell themselves they're beat. They start counting positions of, well, he's here, he's here, he's here. Now I'm fourth. Now I'm fifth. Like, I don't do that.
Yep.
I go up there and, like, in my mind, I'm getting the whole shot. I don't care who's on the gate. Unless he can be beside me, I'm still going to try and hole shot him. It's a challenge to try and hole shot him. So if Mike Brown was there, that'd be awesome, because then it's a little bit smaller race, and like I can try my hand at going toe to toe with Mike Brown. I think that's awesome, and I feel like that mentality, you've got to kind of teach that mentality to guys. Like, Eli's being told all weekend that, hey, the guy's beating you. Half of them went to Loretta's in B, a couple of them went to Loretta's in C, and they beat you at Loretta's in C or beat you at the regional, and it's like, don't get discouraged because you're not beating them. But he's also got to know that I can compete with those guys. Which
I think I was trying to tell him that after the race, how close he was to William Jordan, and like
he's closer to them now than he was at regional. And he's been off the bike he's been back riding for a month, but he was off the bike for 3 months before that with a broken wrist and a broken leg.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, that's badass. I was like, that's all you really got to worry about. And I'm like,
but he has Mitch and the Kenneys and stuff that they don't. Mitch kind of understands a little bit more than the Kenneys, but like they don't really understand like where these other kids are at
right now and where they're at legit right now.
Yeah, I mean they're probably riding today.
Right now. Every single one of them that beat him.
And Eli had to go to school and then go to the doctor's appointment to get fully released.
Coming today.
No, he has to go get fully released. But
damn, I just set a couple bikes out there for him to work on.
Well, it looks like you got to do them,
dude. I totally forgot.
But no, like.
But speaking on that, I mean, drifting is the same way. I mean, he can look down the line and he have in his mind, okay, well, I'm gonna be fifth today, or I'm gonna be third, or I'm gonna be eighth. It doesn't matter, because it's gonna be some of the same kids he's used to racing. And yeah, they may have beat him the last 2 times he entered a race with them, and he'll go in it with that mentality.
Yeah,
and it shows with some of his intensity that, I'm just gonna settle here because this is where I should be.
Yeah. So how close is he normally to Ryder Anderson?
Not close.
Okay. Because I was just trying to
normally not close, because Ryder's. He's really picked the pace up the last year or so. Now, locally, if it's just 2 or 3 of them out there, yeah, he can maybe hang with him a little bit. But Ryder, man, his racing ability is so good, and it's gotten a lot better over the past year or so, that Ryder's he's not intimidated by anybody, doesn't look like. And that's where drifting is held back some. And, because he just Ryder go out there and they race a lot. They race a lot of big races, and that's helped to where we don't make it to as many big races. So Ryder's been exposed to that a lot more than Drifting has, and and that's not Drifting's fault, but he he just needs more of that exposure, and that has definitely helped Ryder and Matt's the same way. Matthew Semino,
yeah, he was good too. Yeah,
he races a ton, and he's been exposed to that a lot more, but. Drifting is a little bit younger than Ryder, but he's the same age as Matt. So I know he can do it. It's just getting his mind right to do it. So hopefully, he's in 3 classes at Spring Inc. So hopefully by the end of the week, there's some improvements with his racing, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not going with, an expectation of a top 5 or maybe not even a top 10 in some classes, but he needs to be there for his own well-being. And, if he wants to continue doing this, he needs to be there, whether we make all the motos or not, or may have to go to a LCQ, it is what it is. But that's what he needs, to achieve the goals he has in his little 7-year-old mind right now. That's what he needs.
Yeah. You have to go race, and you have to go to the big places to learn that, and to learn, and get in the right state of mind, the right mentality. But I mean, there's even some kids that go to some of these races and they still it's still a mental block a little bit, and
well, I think when you were talking about like going to the gate knowing like, hey, like I could be first, second, third, whatever, and like with you and then Ryder, you're talking about he knows like he's one of the top guys, so he's gonna go out and put out there. It's the fact of he's been racing so much, and like. It first starts with like racing locally and winning locally. Then you got confidence. So when you go to these big races, you beat some names where you weren't expecting to beat, and then you're like, okay. And then it's just like slowly building confidence.
Yeah, builds confidence. Yeah.
So like you can't. I'm not going to go to the gate in College Boy and be like, oh, Avery Long's here. I'm going to smoke his ass.
Well, yeah, because you got to be realistic.
Yeah, I know who Avery Long is. I had 4 A guys in my class. So, like, I know where to put myself and where I should be. Yeah,
but so more of what I'm talking about is, like, there will be, like, and I'm sure both of you have seen it, there will be where you see, like, on the local level, kid B beats kid A.
Yes.
A lot. But then they go to a bigger race, and kid B freaks out, and kid A beats him all the time at bigger races.
Yeah.
Because it's a mental thing. That's kind of more what I'm talking about. But that's why I was asking, like, how close Trifton is to Ryder on, like, just a regular race at Wildwood. Because of, like, the gap.
I'll put it this way. I don't think he would be as far behind Ryder as he was this weekend. Maybe.
Yeah, and see, that's kind of like, to me, that's like it's kind of like a mental thing of, like, he kind of gets stuck in a rut of, like, where he starts and around those kids, and then Ryder's just out there. He's just in his own race. He's not really worried about anything. He's just racing his own race. And it's the same kid, local race, regional, Loretta's, it doesn't matter. And that's what you got to try to achieve is the same kid every time he lines up on the gate. And, and it's a lot of that's mental. A lot of that's, and it is learning, it is experience, it is confidence. I mean, it's a lot of it. But there is a mental part of that, hey, like, don't let it pressure you that it's area qualifier. It's just a race at Wildwood, Somebody was asking me about how the track was on the gate. I don't remember if it was Eli. And I was like, dude, it's dirt, it's jumps, and it's a track. And you're on a dirt bike. I think you know what to do. Because, like, you don't overthink it. Like, because, I mean, that literally, like, guys that ride a lot and are at that level, like, you already know what to do. But it's up to you to go out there and actually perform and do it like you know what to do and not let it get in your head. A lot of guys, you come in, they start looking at all the different lines, and then they're just like flipping out by, they're worrying about this line or that line, or you get in a race with a certain guy, you're worried about battling that guy, and you just really need to be about hitting your marks, not making mistakes. When you racing, do you kind of even think about anything going on, or is it just like you're just out there?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What am I
Are you thinking about your lines? Are you thinking about, like, you took something, you're like, dang, dude, I'm not taking that line next time?
Yeah.
Are you trying to be smart about stuff? Are you like,
especially this weekend, I knew, like, the guy in front of me, I was taking a different line. He was, and I see it right there. Okay, he pulled a little gap on me, and I'm like.
So you try to correct that?
Yeah, and so next lap, I follow him right there, and I know this corner I'm faster than him because he was messing up, and so like I go back to my old lines that I was.
And see,
taking.
that to me, there you're becoming so much more of a technical rider and an advanced rider because you're recognizing stuff as you're riding and racing.
Yeah.
And that's, you're making it to a whole nother level. But there's a lot of kids that they don't know. They're just out there kind of just going through the motions. They don't really know that yet. And a lot of them are young to kind of learn that, but it will come. And, it's just you got to try to teach it at a young age so the earlier they can learn it and know it, the better off, But, like, dude, I ride and I make mistakes and I'm just like, it's eating at me the whole time because I'm making these mistakes that I know not to make. But sometimes I can't help it. I'm tired or I'm just, I'm just being a goober and making, dabbing my foot, whatever.
Yeah,
and,
like I'll make those mistakes, but I won't think about it in the race of like, oh, I just dabbed my foot. Next lap, try not to dab your foot. Like,
Well, I don't let those stick to me, but like I dab and I know, and it's there. Like I'm just like, oh man, like
and it messes up the rest of my corner. But like I'll go back and I'll like, okay, don't take this line next lap. And then, like, I'll say that about a couple lines, and then some lines I'll remember. I'm coming up, I'm like, okay, yeah. I'll see the rut, and I'll try to get out. I'll remember maybe last second or, quite a bit ahead. But then there's some lines while I come in a corner, I'm like, oh, man, I knew I shouldn't have. Like, I just told myself not to take this line. And, like, I'm going.
And here I am.
Yeah, I'm going up to the finish, and I'm going through a set of rollers up the finish, sitting there, like, going up the finish. I'm like, dude, I just told myself not to take this line. And here I am. Eating my way out of it, and I'm like, so like it'll go different ways, but I think it's the middle thing. I think it's a big part of just of like who you're around and
it is
confidence wise of
confidence, who you're around, who's talking to you about different things, just your mindset for the day, and
like some people don't like when I come off the track. I like to tell you where I took, and we like to compare lines. Mm-hmm. Some people don't like that because then. Like I told Eli that, and I can't tell if I'm just messing with Eli's head, or if I'm helping him. Because like I like to come off the track. When you come off the track, I like to know, hey, like not how was it, but like what lines to avoid. That's all I want to know. Like I don't care about what good lines, but if there's a gnarly hole going into this line, tell me about it so I can miss it. But like with Eli, I think if you tell him, it may get to his head so much where like. Coming up to the turn.
That's all he thinks about.
Yeah, that's all he thinks about. Then he messes up the turn even without taking the line.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's kind of maturity comes with it, too. He's still a kid who, he has somebody yelling at him. His dad's still, my dad could give a hell what place I get. If he was down there, he wouldn't even watched. He'd be like, oh, you racing? I'm like, yeah, I just came off the track. He's like, oh. Cool. And then like go back to making his leather or whatever. And so like it's just there's so many variables that it's hard to really pick out and control one of them.
Yeah, and like with Eli, I mean it's not it is a maturity thing, but it's also a thing of like they've always been taught that. Like he hasn't had the guys in his ear telling him smart things about the track like me and you have been with him for the last little bit.
Yeah.
For 5 or 6 years. He's only had that for the last little bit, so he's having to learn that. He's having to learn like that, hey, they're going to tell me some things and, I'm going to be able to apply this, but I gotta be smart about it.
Yeah.
He like over time he'll get better and better and better with us giving him advice at the gate and stuff like that. It won't be, because, like the past few years it's just, Mitch telling him to, pin it.
Yeah.
Shift up and pin it.
Yeah.
You better be on the gas. But, well, let's talk about some results.
What days?
Shaw, you still there?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know if we lost you or not. Well, I was just going to go through Saturday. Wait, this is Sunday. Let me go back to Saturday.
Do we want to address the big events happened Saturday?
The Shop Moto Pod Supercross watch party?
That was awesome. No, me being a cheater.
Oh yeah, Grayson got disqualified.
Oh.
He actually didn't. He actually didn't get disqualified because when you text me that, Shaw, I told him, and he's like, freaking out over here. And he's like, where's Charlie at? And so we were over by the gate. I saw Charlie, walked over there. I was like, hey, Charlie. I was like, this is Grayson. I was like, he had the hubs, and somebody said something, and Charlie's like, yeah, you can't have those. And he's like, and Grayson's like, really? He's like, and Charlie's like, yeah, it's dumb. I don't really agree with it. You can have rims, but you can't have hubs. Like, it doesn't make sense. And he's like, I saw them, and then somebody brought it to my attention, so I've got to do something about it. And Grayson's like, well, can I put stock ones on and ride the second moto and like still get a score? And he's like, you know what? He's like, I'll put you last in the first moto, put your stock rims on, stock hubs and stuff back on, stock wheels on, and I'll let you ride the second moto, and whatever place you get's what place you get, and you'll still get a score.
That's all I want, because that's all I wanted.
And to me, that's awesome, because
that's sensible.
Yes, like, Grayson had. I didn't have no idea. Like, I didn't know you can't change your hub. Like, it's not like that. They're performance. Like, they're just are they Kite or Talon? Talon hub.
No, Han. They're Han
hubs.
They're the heavy duty hubs.
Yeah, but
wheels.
Yes, it's aftermarket and all, but it's just because of to actually have something that holds up a little bit better than stock. It's not that it's actually performance.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Well, somebody said something about another guy. I think it was 250B, and I say somebody said something about Charlie did, but then he came back and said to score him as a regular because it was a factory edition bike. So obviously, the factory edition comes with the hubs.
Yeah. So we were going to say that Grayson's was a factory edition.
Should have said that. It's a factory edition.
How are they going to know?
You can't look it up.
I even asked Charlie about the 50 class. I was like, because he was asking about a bike, and I told him, I said, hey, I know it's legit because they bought it from me. So I know it's, and
must have been one of the KTMs with the exhaust, huh?
Yes, it was. It was Harper. They bought they bought it from us. And I told him, I was like, but how do you know? He's like, we don't. He's like, it's like, we just have to, if somebody tells us it's a factory edition, we just kind of, and I'm like,
I have to believe
it's kind of the dumbest thing ever, because can I go put a FMF pipe and silencer on our bike and run it and say, hey, it's a factory edition? They don't know. So it's kind of to me, if they let the factory editions ride in the class, they should say, okay, you can have a pipe and silencer. And you can put the factory edition clutch in it because, hey, it's factory edition has it, so y'all can do it. And but
then it's not. Then what's the difference between limited and mod?
But okay, so let me ask you this: 54-6 shaft PW.
4-6.
People spend $2,000 on the motor and suspension to send it off and get a ProFlow motor or whatever all the different places are that do it. It's about like $2,000. If you send them your motor and you send them your suspension and pay $2,000, they do the Loretta's bike. Okay? So everybody on the gate's pretty much got that. So now we went from a $2,000 PW to a $4,000 PW because everybody's got to have it or you're going to get your doors blown off because it actually makes a big difference.
Why not just have a stock bike to begin with?
Is that limited? Let's either just sit wide open and we can have PWs like people had them back when I first started riding PWs and they had 8 hangers on them and they had 60 suspension and super modified, 60 and 70 kits and stuff on them. Like, either do that where it's wide open or say it's stock. It's got to be showroom stock. And
I'm fine with that.
I like the idea of like it was when I was growing up, and you had stock, and the stock class was stock. You couldn't change it. You couldn't have suspension. You couldn't do nothing. It had to be stock. And then mod was mod, and that keeps the cost down. And I really feel like MX Sports and some of the people running it, they're like have no sense of trying to keep the cost of the sport down. Like, they could care less. Like, they don't. It's like all they see is the Australian kid with the double-decker bus carrying a mini coupe underneath, and like that's the minority.
No,
that's the minority, dude. Like, only 10% of the people racing are that, and then everybody else is regular middle class and are squeaking by to keep doing this. And it's like, man, we should make it where like it's really benefiting that guy, so they continue to do it, and we have more of those guys doing it. And the rich guy, he's gonna spend his money on all kinds of stuff anyway, so it really doesn't matter. And I kind of think they just, somebody at the AMA MX Sports just really doesn't think through the whole limited deal. I don't know.
And I feel like back in the day, the stock it used to be like the top guys would come, the cream of the crop would come to the top.
Oh yeah, the fast guys were going to win either way.
Yeah,
like,
but it seems like the middle of the pack to back would change because if you had a mod bike, you'd go up. But like stock classes, dude, it was like wide up. Like it's whoever's faster.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all.
I remember a lot of times on little bikes though, there was a lot of daddies and motor builders getting their feelings hurt because the dad would spend all this money on the mod bike and the kid would do better in the stock class.
Yeah,
and then kids would ride the mod class on their stock bike and beat all these mod bikes and
do better.
Exactly, do better, and you're like, so a lot of people's feelings were hurt, and but to me, like none of that matters. It's just like do whatever is the smart way, and then it keeps the cost down for people. Like, and it's a guy that wants to be cheap about it can ride a stock bike and he can have the one bike and he can ride two classes, stock and mod. And, the guy with money, he's going to have two bikes. He's going to, trick out one of them. And if they still want to have these, factory amateur kids, well, they still have two classes to ride. They do that anyway. They don't ride the limited classes anyway. So just let them ride, the mod classes if that's such a big deal for them to ride that and rock and roll with it. But
I did better in the mod classes than I did the stock classes.
There's more people, right?
Yeah, true.
Or did your hubs made that much of a difference?
That's the difference.
It was those hubs.
See, and it made the guy who protested that much better because, like I'm sitting there, I'm worried about it, and I beat him the first moto, protested me about the wheels. Second moto, 20 minutes before I died, and so I had to like regroup and get back on the bike to go do the next race because I was last race and I was first race, so like I'm coming back. I just died, and I have to like regroup, and I have to go back to the gate. And he beats me that moto, and the dad's probably like, "Oh yeah, see, I told you the wheels make a difference. He didn't beat me that moto with stock wheels."
If hubs make a difference, then I don't even know.
That's exactly what it was.
All right, let's run through real quick on some results. 450B limited. I'm just going. I was just going to kind of run through our local guys. The only guy, I guess Corey Allen's local for Louisiana. Grayson was the first local guy.
I don't know.
12th. Dylan, yeah. Okay, Dylan went 9:13 for 10th.
Yeah, I don't know anybody else in that.
I mean, these guys are...
Wasn't Wyatt Creighton in that one?
Yeah,
so he's Loretta's. Okay. Michael Kokorin or whatever. I'm pretty sure he went to Loretta's and B. I don't know about JJ Concannon.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah,
they're Kevin's kids.
Yeah, and then
Wyatt Creighton the same way.
Brock Henry, I'm not sure on him.
He's the one that bike locked up.
Oh, did he get hurt?
No, he rode the next day.
Oh. He rode the next day, but obviously didn't ride that bike.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it was.
He's a Farm 14 kid as well.
Okay, and then
all these Farm 14 kids.
William Jordan,
Dade City.
He's Dade City. He went to Loretta's and C. Carson Manquist, Loretta's and C. Like, dude, it was stacked. Like those, bunch of Loretta's kids. So 125C, countdown. I guess they didn't do anything about it. No idea how McNabb would have been about that. So McLean got 6th, 7-6. He's Alabama. Spencer.
Surprisingly, not as good as I thought.
McLean?
Yeah.
Dude, the kids in front of him are freaking...
No, he was rolling at Monster. He didn't look... Nope, I'm sure Pawpaw's listening to this and Spencer's listening to it. He smoked Spencer's ass at Monster.
Is this his first year riding A?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought.
Yeah, and then Spencer was 7th, 6-7. Corey got 11th at 250 Pro Sport.
Oh, man.
Spencer had different his suspension.
Yeah, I don't know
was his excuse.
Yeah, what was I don't know. I told him we could have swapped it. He's like, it didn't matter that much. And I was like, dude, I would have. It wouldn't have been hard to swap. I think it was just the forks with a shock or something. I'm like, we could have swapped it.
So
he hadn't been riding much either. Anyways,
let's see. We got Micro E, a bunch of locals. Matt was 2nd. Cruz, Sheck Snyder. I think that's how you say their name, isn't it?
Sheck Snyder.
Yeah. Well, you had to do a lot of that, didn't you? Figuring people's names out.
Well, I did for that class. I didn't have to announce that one.
Okay. Yeah, because you were watching. So he went 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 for fifth. And then drifting 7.6 for sixth. That's pretty good. Cruise Lane. I know they're Georgia. I know them.
Yeah, that's Ryder Lane's little brother, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I know Forrest, their dad. And then Colton Harper, which he got hurt. He crashed and dislocated his shoulder in like one of the motos, maybe the second moto.
I think that was the first moto. I'm pretty sure.
Was it the first moto? Okay.
Yeah.
Is Anderson not in that one?
Anderson was not in the e-bike class.
No, he's look, the middle Anderson was Weston.
I didn't see his name.
So
there he is. He went 12.7 for 10th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he pulled the whole shot and led, I think, close to all of the first lap.
Did it say winner?
And so he wrecked somewhere. I don't know exactly where he wrecked, but his visor was hanging down directly in front of his face. And Trey, I don't know if Trey tried to stop him, but he just zooms by the mechanics area. And I'm like, Trey, he's riding by faith. No way he's riding by sight. And so he comes to the corner after a little camel hump tabletop to the left-hander.
Yeah.
And so he stops and is like trying to get the visor off of him or whatever. He keeps going. He wrecks like 8 times. But yeah, that's the middle Anderson.
That's funny.
That's funny.
Were you asking something on this?
Yeah, well, he's 8.
Yeah, but he probably
got a good birthday.
He just turned 8.
Cheater.
Yep. Dude, the kid that got third, 6.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Bodie Bowerson.
Yeah, he's a little ripper.
Who's the youngest one in that class?
Him and
Bunch of 6s.
Anderson,
5.
Weston Johnson.
5.
No, Caden Smith 5, Tucker Gray 5.
Damn.
Yep. All right, let's go. Let's move on. Moving on now.
I need a mod e-bike motor if y'all know where one of those at.
I'm not exactly sure how to do that.
Hey, yeah, bring it down, drop it in the back door. We'll see what happens.
Need a few more kilowatts.
So 4 to 6 shaft, Cruise Lane 1. I don't know any of these other kids. Jax Fowler, I know. They bought a bike here. Actually came to my last class. He got 10th. Blake Harper, that's one of the Harper brothers. There's a bunch of them. He got 12th. Yeah, that's the only ones I know in shaft. 4 to 6 limited. The Abercrombie people are South Mississippi, aren't they?
Yeah, they live somewhere around Hattiesburg or South Hattiesburg.
I don't know them, but I see the name and all. So Landry got 3rd. He went 3.2. I don't really know them. Cruise Lane 6th, 4.7. Then Jax Fowler, he got 11th in that one, 12.10. All right, let's see. 7 to 8. Some heavy hitters in this. Cason Taylor, Ryan, I'm going to screw his name up. Cicaretti, is that how you say it?
Cicaretti.
Cicaretti? Okay.
Yeah.
I remember him from Swan.
Yeah, he's a
couple
ripper.
years ago. Yeah, he's fast. Ryder Anderson, Matthew Semino, like all those kids are fast. And yeah, 2 of them are local, but they're fast.
Fast.
Braxton Hallbrooks, he's not slow. He went 8.5 for 6th. Cason Holloway, like he rode e-bike at Loretta's.
Yep.
Like, dude, I mean, it's so now when I look at this, Mason Wheeler won e-bike and got 10th, and drifting was 12th, 10-13. Cruz Sheck Snyder 17-10 for 13th. Like, when I see this, I'm not like too mad that Bladen went 15 terrible or something like that. So yeah, Sheck Snyder 13th, Harper 14th. Probably the biggest class of the day. 23 of them. 65, 7 to 9. So who is Charlie? Do you know any of these kids? Benson, Levin, and
No, I think the only one I knew was Casey Taylor, Braxton O'Brien.
Yeah.
They y'all probably know them.
Yeah, he's one. I'm claiming him. He's one of my. He's been.
My goodness.
He came to my last class, and that's the second one they've been
Dude,
to.
and that kid, like, he was riding 50s last year.
Was he?
And when he got on that 65, man, he is really rolling.
Yeah, he's 9.
He was running 50s last year?
Yeah.
That kid's
Yeah,
big.
He could still ride a 50.
That kid's big.
Pretty sure. Well, no, maybe not. Maybe he was 9 before the year, and he can't.
Maybe
he is not. Yeah.
He's not like.
But he's young for that class.
He's almost as tall as you, Jake. How's he running a 50 last year?
Yeah, I mean.
He was.
Hey, hold on. Well, I guess that kid could have turned 10. Like, Cason Taylor's young. He's only 8.
Huh.
Yeah, he's a year older than drifting.
Yeah. But this class was stacked, too, man. Like, Cason Taylor, Braxton's fast, obviously. Camden Harris from Arkansas. Ciceretti, I'm messing it up
Oh, my
still.
God.
No, you're good. Ciceretti.
So say it like it's S's instead of C's. Ciceretti.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won a KTM challenge a few weeks ago.
Ciceretti?
Yep. And
No, he got second.
Did he get second? I thought he won.
Yep. Jacob Mariner won that.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe I was just because I saw his name and I thought he won. Ryder was 11th in that. Anderson.
I didn't even see him
Donald
all
Harper,
weekend.
Braxton Hallbrooks. I talked to
Where were
I
they?
talked to Bailey and Trey.
I didn't see him.
Yep, I talked to him on Saturday morning practice, I think.
Damn. Where were they parked, Shaw?
They were parked right behind the starting gate. You know where the dumpster is? They were parked right by the dumpster.
Damn.
Yeah, that's over there where Ricky was parked. Because I asked Ricky where he was parked, and he said, by the dumpster. Like, I don't know where the dumpster's at. Then I saw it later.
Take a right at the bottom, and then you go to the dumpster, and then you're right there. Yep, that's me.
All right, so 65, 10 to 11. Obviously, Easton was just completely gone.
Easton Graves.
But I gotta give a shout out to our little buddy, Van Oliver.
Dude.
So he rode well.
He went 2.5 for third, but he crashed the second moto. I mean,
That's good.
Van was good.
Yeah, I was surprised. I haven't seen him ride. I haven't seen him like riding in a long time.
Yeah, and so because Ryder Lane went 6.4 for fifth. Ross did good. I thought Ross rode good for a little bit. They get to ride and stuff.
What did he do?
He went 8.9 for ninth.
That's not bad.
I thought Ross was actually rode pretty good. And then Trip Porter, their local, he's been to my classes. He got 11th. My little guy, Styles, got 13th. Styles needs help. All my kids need help.
Maybe.
Shaw, I'm going to send him to live with you for a little bit. Can you help him?
Man, bring him on.
85, 10, 12. Heavy hitters in this. Wyatt Duff, Elliott Bowser, Easton Graves, Jackson McCarty, Colin Holbrook. Like, dude, top 5 is just Loretta's kids.
Yeah, stacked.
Yep.
I mean, and I think the Vanderford kid is like close to Loretta's level, isn't he?
What's his last name?
Dude, he's so close. He broke both arms yesterday at Farm 14.
I saw that. He broke,
Where?
He crashed at Farm 14 training, broke both his arms.
When?
Yesterday.
No
yesterday.
Shit.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's been right on the cusp. I mean, he's kind of like some other local kids. I mean, locally, he's really, really fast and gets to regionals and has trouble. But, dude, I thought this year would probably be his year.
Yeah.
Because he's been at full time. He's been full time at the farm for probably close to a year. And, dude, he made some strides, and I was gutted when I saw it yesterday.
What, I guess I'll wait till we get to big bikes. I have questions about they're local big bike guys that I didn't see. Not local like I know them personally, but I just know their name.
Okay. When we get to their classes, we bring them up.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what class. They were C guys for forever, and they would be so close. And then I don't know if they moved up this year.
I bet I know who you're talking about.
Like,
go ahead.
There's like Dagpin. There's the kid on the Yamaha.
Yeah. I don't know where they were. I don't know.
Jay Jones. Jones, his name?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah.
I thought Jay. I think he rode some Winter Series stuff, but so I don't know if he wanted to do that and then catch another area somewhere else. I don't know.
There's number 29 on the KTM sometimes.
They'll go to
where's he?
They'll go to DeSoto.
Yeah, probably.
So
yeah, that's right on the road for them.
Oh
right.
yeah.
Well, I got a local buddy was in our pit. Cade Pedigo, 911 for 10th. But see, Cade's one where I need to work with him on the mental thing. Because I think he's better than that.
Oh yeah, he's way better.
And when we watch him ride, it nims. I mean, like you watch the kid and you're like, wow, you know. And
no, but even there, watching him, you're like, okay, he's faster than the kids in front of him. Like, even there, like, I'm not comparing Nims because that's his home track, but I'm comparing them to there that day. I'm like, dude, like, he is faster than those. There's a pack of them, and there's probably 2 or 3 in front of him. And I'm like, he looks
he's
faster
kind of
than
like
him.
that at regionals and stuff. Like, I think he's been able to. He should have done better in the past at certain races, but he, like, mentally sometimes I think he, like, beats himself, or he's just, you know. Well, Matthew was telling me, he was watching him in the corners. He's like, man, he's not like settling and hitting his marks, and, like, you know, so he's like maybe losing some stuff, forgetting some of his things, and you know, when it comes race time.
I mean, that happens.
And it's kind of racecraft kind of stuff a little bit.
That happens to a certain point. You don't, like, it's hard to have great fundamentals when you're focused on you just gotta go as fast as you can and catch the guy in front of you.
Yep. So I pulled up the women's class. That was next. Sheltima is like a national level girl. Obviously, she went 1-1 over Kenzie. Kenzie was close. I thought the second moto Kenzie was going to get her, but
I didn't watch it.
Dude, she looks good on that Kawasaki.
She does. She had excuses to me. I was messing with her. I was like, come on, Kenzie. She's like letting her by. Like, you know, she's like, I'm tired. I just rode 250C. Like, she had like one class in between 250C and women. So
I did too.
she would go out and see, and, like, you know, she's trying to, you know, race with the boys and be up front in that class, and then has to turn right around on a rough track and get right back at the gate. So I'll give her a pass a little bit, and then give her a little bit of a pass on that. So let's see. Mini Senior 1, Wyatt Duff, Maddox Pert. So
Papa
I've seen the Pert kid ride a long time ago, but he's gotten way faster since the last time I've seen him. And I talked to Patrick.
Moving to Florida helped him.
Yeah, I talked to Patrick a little bit. I've talked to him on the phone a bunch, buys bikes and parts from us. Never really met him though, but he was a nice dude. But yeah, he said that, you know, he told me they made a lot of gains from moving to Florida. So
do I need to move to Florida, Jake?
probably.
Yeah.
And then Cash was good. We mentioned Cash already. 3-4 for third.
Very nice kid. I talked to him. He's like,
Cash?
He's like, you know where Mr. Jake is? I said, what did you just say to me? he's like, where Mr. Jake is? I'm like, dude. I'm like, are you Ricky's boy? He's like, yes, sir, Cash. I'm like, you can just take that bike. I know we'll settle it somewhere else. Like I know where you are. He's like, oh, okay, cool. Thank you so much, sir. And I'm like, dude.
He's such a good kid.
Yeah, I'm like probably a couple years older than you. You call me sir. Like,
Yeah, when I
look old.
Ricky, I got him the bike and stuff and talked to him, and I was like doing other stuff, so I was like in a hurry. But I guess I was yelling at Grayson or messing with him, and I guess he didn't know I was messing with him. So he told Ricky, like, he's like, I think he was kind of aggravated or mad or something. He was yelling at that one guy, and I told Ricky, I said, dude, I was probably just jacking with Grayson. Like, I wasn't mad or anything. I was like, you better tell Cash, like, that I wasn't mad or anything. Like, just jacking with Grayson.
I could just imagine him, like, going back to his dad and be like, Mr. Jake was yelling at that other guy really bad. Like, I don't know what was wrong with him.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, it still was heavy hitters in that class. Cade did better in that. He went 8-6 for 7th. So he was behind Holt. Like, all the kids that beat him, like, either train a lot or sometimes beat him. Like, I think that's more of where he should finish. So he was better in that for sure. Let's see. Super Mini 1. Oh, dude, Landon Gibson.
Where's it?
Yep.
What's his brother's name? Shaw?
I don't know.
Oh, his brother. I don't know.
I thought
Does he have a brother?
thought one of the Gibsons were on Team Green. I thought the other one, unless I'm just thinking of two.
You must be thinking of some different people.
Yeah, because
I don't know. I'm thinking Landon Gibson was. I was thinking he was a Yamaha kid last couple years, and I may have dreamed this, but I was thinking he was a Yamaha kid, and he's one of these kids that Daniel Blair's picked up on the Austrian side.
He might have.
Maybe
he's
so.
wearing Team Gascat stuff, but
Yeah, I don't know exactly, but seems like I
Gordon.
read that or saw that somewhere.
Oh, Grayson's thinking of Gordon.
Landon Gordon.
Yep.
And then his brother, he's on a 120. They're from out west. That's who I'm thinking of the whole time.
Maddox was good in that. He went 2-3. And then there wasn't a lot of locals in those classes.
No, it really wasn't.
Schoolboy 1, Landon Hartz. He's not. He's not local, but he rides for Team Sakai. Is that right? Or is he local?
He used to. He signed with EBR this year, but he's from Alabama.
Dude,
Okay, Alabama. That's you know what I mean.
He's from North Alabama. He moves to GPF. That bike sounds mean.
Oh, dude,
God.
Well, the way he was riding it didn't.
It did. Yeah, but
it did some justice for that sounding good part.
Yeah, that thing was barking.
We had Franklin Bowser, the older Bowser, 4.4 in that class.
Hey, Jake, I want to tell you something about Franklin. So I know nobody else probably knows because they didn't have my vantage point. But so right after the finish line, it developed that kicker just right on the bottom. And so I was sitting there, and I noticed Franklin's bike was just so plush through there. I'm like, well, he's probably got really good suspension or something. But when I started picking up on it, and I never saw anybody else do it all day, either day. He would come over the finish line and he would upshift twice to keep the chassis of that bike so leveled out. Mm-hmm. And dude, when he hit it, it never changed anything on that bike.
Then this brings up something, because I told Grayson and he argued with me that your suspension works better when you're not in higher RPMs.
No.
Yes, and
that's
you were like,
not what we were arguing about. I was arguing about how they were going wide open into the face of it, and their bike was soaking up.
Well, they're pushing through.
They were going wide open, and it was like they weren't going high. The bike was soaking them up, and it was throwing them forward, not up. And you're like, well, they're probably going like a gear higher. I'm like, that's not making the bike. I'm just talking about their suspension on the faces and landing and stuff of how it was working.
They're pushing through with that.
In that situation, though, that's just a good understanding of bike mechanics and chassis and all that. Upshifted twice, hitting the gas. The bike is so plush at that point. Your suspension's not bound up or anything like that. And dude, he looked really good through there.
Smart kid to know that.
That is smart.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to VDB Limited. Eli was in this. Eli went 8.5. Good second moto. First moto, not so good. He went 8.5 for 8.
Yeah, no, we talked about that. We talked about that.
That's terrible luck.
Who goes 8.5 for 8?
Eli. There's somebody else in that class, too.
250B Limited?
Yeah.
Oh, you were in that. I didn't scroll down far enough.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You rode good. It's just
okay.
Everybody in front of you. Your goal is to make Lorettas. Everybody in front of you. Corey Allen has made Lorettas before?
No, yeah, 2 years ago.
Okay, everybody in front of you has made Lorettas before.
I did a total of 3 laps for 2 motos.
Oh, is that when you smoked the ground?
Multiple times.
Okay.
Yes. I did a lap and a half each moto.
All right, let's go 250C Limited. So second, which, Shaw, you don't know this guy. I do. They buy bikes from us. Kerry Owings, 67 on the gas.
Yeah, I didn't know him. He's ripping.
Dude, jumped out front and led for a while till he fell. He went 5.3 for second. But, yeah, dude, I was surprised. I'm like, wait. Because I talked to him. They buy bikes here, whatever, but I've never really seen the kid ride. And, dude, he was good. Really good.
Tristan McDonald.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Kinsey went 6.6 for 4th.
And
That's
Eli
awesome.
went 8.5 for 8. Kinsey went 6.6 for 4th.
Yeah. Don't tell all those boys behind her that she's a girl. Oh, dude, this guy, Kyle Paleologos.
Oh, I butchered that name all weekend.
He went 17.1.
He smoked everybody at Monster.
And then Noah Swanson went 118.
What the hell happened?
The C class is what happened.
Yeah, it's true.
Garrett Reeves, 10-12 for 10th.
What about, what's his name? Was Kane not in there?
Yeah, he was just up there behind Kinsey.
Oh, okay.
Austin Kane?
Yeah.
He went 213 for 6th. 213 for 6th.
I'm still trying to figure out why they red flagged that Moto 1.
Something about somebody jumped the gate, I thought they said.
Oh,
that's all it could have been. I don't know if I didn't know if it was a gate malfunction or what.
No, the gate was moving on me. Did it move on you?
Mm-mm. I never
It
noticed
moved on me twice. It moved on me once. No, both College Boy races. Once I was with Spencer, and we both kind of jumped. And then once I was next to Avery, and he just flat ran through it. I'm like, I won't tell anybody if you don't tell anybody. but he smooth ran right through it. Corey did too in 25. He ran right through it. Did you not see him next to you?
No.
He ran smooth through his.
250C Junior, only local. I see Garrett Reeves, 4.9 for 5th. Kerry Owings, 17.2, 9th.
We have his bike. Does he?
Yeah. Yep. Do-do-do-do.
Yeah, I said his name a bunch across the weekend. He was ripping.
Yep.
Who?
Kerry Owings.
Owens,
Yeah, he was he's fast. Like I said, I didn't.
Sunday just hit the main one, so a lot of people are overlapping.
Yeah, a lot of it's overlapping, yeah.
Do most of the vet ones.
So, like, classes like Open Pro Sport, same as 250, we know.
Yeah.
450C. Austin Kane won. 2-2, got the overall. Wow. Owings got 3rd.
I was surprised.
Schoolboy 2.
Eli's
Where's Eli? He went 6.6 for 6th. Pretty consistent.
Yes.
And that class was tough.
Stacked.
Fast dudes in that class. College Boy. I think we know somebody in College Boy.
Oh, yeah.
He's down here.
You don't have to say it like
10,
that.
10-12 for 11th. Well, you beat Spencer. Results. You should send this to Spencer. He went DNS 6 for 13.
Yeah.
You should send that to him. You beat him overall.
I'm gonna send that to him.
You beat Dylan and you beat Spencer.
Screenshot right now and send it to him. You send it to him. You're like, hey, bro.
What happened here?
Chrome put it on you.
That's funny.
Junior 25 plus. Did we know anybody in that?
Stupid guy.
Some guy went 1-1.
Yeah, some guy.
Corey went 8.6 for 6th. Not bad.
Not bad.
He
beat some good guys.
Roy Barrios was 10th. Cooper McAlpin was 11th. Let's see.
Did Cooper ride both motos 25?
Shody did, yeah.
Okay. He didn't ride both motos of 30 then.
Yeah, plus 30. Same dude that went 1-1 went in 25 went 1-1 in that too. I'm not sure who he is.
Sandbagger.
I brought Grayson one of the first place trophies today.
I have a ninth
he
place one.
He pretty much denied it. And I was like, "Here, Grayson, I brought this for you," and he's like, mad.
I love it's Friday morning. You go out for your first practice, and I'm going to the tower just to mess with Shaw. And you take off, and you're doing that, and I just look at Shaw, and I just yell, "Sandbagger!" He's like, "Yeah, that 231 guy is a sandbagger."
Plus 40, Jeremy Cook won, which he's fast. I mean, he's in plus 30 with me, like not far off.
He must have a good birthday because I noticed he was 39.
Yeah, he turns 40 before Loretta's. The vet class is whatever you turn before Loretta's.
Right, that's what I figured.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
Yeah.
What the day of
Loretta's
one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is so dumb.
Yep.
I hate that.
Yep.
You can't do it like you've been doing your whole life. Like the whole
Evidently
life.
not.
Yeah, the whole life you're AIM-8 in January 1, and then the vet classes they change it.
Yep.
I bet you somebody got hurt.
Plus 45, Sean Gatlin's Alabama. He got 2nd.
Yeah.
Or old Brooks got 7th.
Oh, he came off the track
Brooks
one day
was
cussing.
How rough it was.
Yeah.
It was hard on old man.
Yeah. He came off the track. He's like, that track is a bastard, I'll tell you. And I'm like, don't tell me that.
He got 6th and plus 50. As I was just looking for him. He got 6th and plus 50. So after that, the rest of it's kids classes. We've kind of went over kids classes. 450. We will touch on 450B because I think I know a guy went 8.9 for 9th.
Yes, sir.
Yep, 119. Mr. Crumb.
Yeah, slow bastard. That's what he is.
Yep.
Super slow.
Anything closing, Shaw? Anything else we need to talk about?
I'm calling it right now. Cooper Webb the star.
Oh yeah, you told me that earlier.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Shop Moto Pod.
Do you want to say how you figured that out or anything, or you just want to keep that on the DL?
Keep it.
Well, I'll put it this way. I know a guy
Who knows
that was at Star Chevrolet, and Bobby just fessed up. Said, "Hey, I was talking to Cooper Webb this morning." So, do you think they're that good buddies from back in the day that they just call and shoot the breeze, or you think they talking business?
I don't know. Who knows? So my buddy Pedigo, his boss, he knows Bobby too because he hauls cars for him, and Bobby comes to their business every now and then. So I get Pedigo to kind of sneak some questions in there every now and then. Hey, why don't you see if old Coops? You know what? I'll go by there at Indy. When I go to Indy in a few weeks, I'll go by there and talk to Bobby. Give me the dirt. Let's do a Shop Moto Pod interview. Give me all the dirt. I won't let any of the audio out until like a week before stuff's going to be official. Give me the dirt. Yeah, I tell Bobby, Bobby, here's my number. You start telling me the dirt. Don't tell Mathis. Let me beat Mathis to the punch.
He doesn't.
That's how we get our stardom.
Ow, I'm sure.
That's how we get our stardom. See it even goes together.
Yeah, he's the star and you're the dumb.
Exactly. Perfect. I'll take it all day long.
Heard it here first on Shop Moto Pod.
Yep.
Coop the star.
Yep. Well, the Tomac retires, they're going to have somebody, so. Obviously, Grayson's favorite rider can't stay off the ground, so.
Yeah, thank God. You can stay off the track for all I care.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up. I'm sure he's probably almost home for dinner with the wife and kids.
Probably.
Oh, I still got to get stuff straightened up from the weekend. What are you talking about?
Dang.
I did get bikes washed.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. Let me make sure that was done.
Did Grayson do it for you or what?
No.
I wasn't here Monday.
No, Grayson didn't wash any of them. Not a one.
I wasn't, because I wasn't here Monday. You washed yours Monday.
Yep, I did. I had to get them done.
I washed mine Tuesday.
Yep.
Man.
All right, Shaw.
Oh, well.
Well, we appreciate you coming on.
Voice of Wildwood.
Voice of Wildwood. If we were going to do a Wildwood episode, we had to get the guy that was calling all the action, calling all the shots.
Hey, I'm like Weege. If you're paying, I'm saying.
Well, were they paying?
No way.
No.
I know it.
I wouldn't take any money from David anyway.
Oh.
I told him I enjoyed it too much.
I would.
We go ride there a bunch. I'm not taking money from David just for me to run my mouth for 2 days.
Yeah. Maybe he'll remember it and you'll get some free practices out of the deal.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, cool. Good talking to you.
All right, boys.
See you, Shaw.
Later, guys.
All right, see ya. All right. Well, it was good talk.
Good talk.
Yep.
Love Shaw.
Yep. Good dude. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this episode up. And
I am tired.
Yep. If people want to like, subscribe, share, comment.
Yeah, let us know.
Just,
talked about a lot of locals this weekend.
Yep. All the local kids. Share it around if their names are in it so they can actually listen and hear and,
Yeah.
Definitely local kids that were doing something.
Yeah.
Several of them were.
Well, we were truth about it. If they sucked, we told them they sucked. If they were good, we told them they were good.
I mean, really, it was just my kids that sucked.
And me.
Well, yeah, but you're sitting right here, so you know your truth. Actually, you didn't suck. You just had a fast class.
I know my truth.
You know your truth. We'll get there when it's time. We get there when it's time.
We'll race Avery when it's time. I can't wait to see every single one of them at Daytona next week.
Oh yeah, that's coming up quick.
Yeah, next weekend.
I won't see anybody at Indy.
I'll be a stat class, and I'm gonna get Mac to give me a picture between like who's gonna be in B this year that we know, or College Boy that we know. College Boy, I'll get one lined up to next to Avery. Mac will get a picture like Avery and whoever, and then B. Who's gonna be in B this year?
I have no idea.
Drew Adams and another Cowie guy. Casey.
I don't think Casey will. They might do Daytona.
I'll get one between like Casey and then like it's not Enzo Timmerman, is it?
Yeah.
Enzo Timmerman? Is it
I think so. Yeah. Cowie kid.
Yeah, I'll get one between them. I'll just be like sitting there,
Yep. All right, cool. Let's wrap it up. We've been doing this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Time to get back to work.
All right. Later, everyone.
See ya. You suck at that.
I do.